We built BTWB to support independent gyms. These gym owners have unique journeys that led them to create incredible communities in their towns or cities all around the world. Spotlight is going to help tell these stories and celebrate these people. All right, Ryan, good morning, brother. Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too.
You get some nice sunshine there in Oregon. I'm up in the just outside of Seattle. It's a nice day as well.
Yeah, we got 300 days of sunshine a year here. Obviously, we get a ton of snow in the winter by the mountains, but so it's a little chilly. Cool mornings and warm days is typical here.
You get 300 days of sun a year.
So yeah, maybe that's rounding up. Maybe it's
Still, dude, I mean, I feel like we get 300 days of rain. I'm immediately jealous, but wow, okay. Well, you got a pretty cool story I want to share with people about your gym and whatnot. So, let people know, what's the name of your facility, where you're located, and how long have you had it?
yeah. The name of the gym is Level 5, and it started in my garage, like many CrossFit gyms do, 12 years ago. So it didn't start off as an affiliate, but as we grew and expanded, once we got to about 150 members, and there was a big draw for CrossFit, then we affiliated at that point. It's been 6 or 7 years, I think, that we've been affiliates.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm skipping to the end, but I think this will be fascinating because I do interviews with the gym owners all the time, and your story is interesting in a couple of ways. So you've had level five, based on the email you told me, for about 12 years now, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then over the course of 12 years, you've gone from starting in your garage
Hmm.
to now having about a 12,000 square foot facility and north of 1,000 members.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
insane. And I've talked to a lot of gym owners, that is not a normal trajectory. So gym owners will want to know, how, sir, how can I do this?
Okay. So, yeah, the basically, we outgrew the garage, right? Common story. Neighbors complained. The city said, "Hey, you're exceeding the code. We need you to move to a commercial space." So got kind of forced out of the garage, and the only commercial space available for fitness use in our little city was one suite of a strip mall. So 2,000 square feet. We went into that space and we were running things as usual. And then the 6,000 square foot end cap space became available and vacant. And I had no plans to do anything of that size.
Hmm.
But I had this vision of a hybrid gym that was half classes, CrossFit gym setup, and half open gym, 24-hour access setup
Interesting.
to appeal to the masses and as a feeder system to, where people could come and work out in one half of the gym, do their own thing, but watch a CrossFit class on the other half, and then eventually cross over. So we started offering, we set up the key card access and the 24-hour setup, and just started selling memberships at $59 a pop. And initially it was like, yeah, we had our normal 150 CrossFit members. And then like after 1 year, we had 50 open gym members. And that was just passive income, which I was trying to grow. And over the years, as more space has become available, as the membership grew, we expanded into more spaces, into more of your traditional gym setup. So now we have a CrossFit gym, 6,000 square feet. We have a strongman powerlifting gym, 2,000 square feet. And then we have your traditional Globo gym at 4,000 square feet. So I own three out of the four gyms and sisters, although they're in the same building. And they're all key card. People can choose which gym they want. A lot of them start in the Globo gym and then work their way more towards higher intensity exercise. And
Fascinating.
and so now we're at 200 CrossFit class members and 1,000 open gym members. So the shift has gone to now we're the 10% instead of the 90%, which obviously financially has been huge for us.
Yeah. I'm curious. So that are the spaces connected or not connected? I couldn't tell from what you said there.
They're not connected, so they're in the same building, but
Okay.
they have the end caps and a middle space. with 3 separate entrances. And hey, in a perfect world, I would have said, hey, let's have one giant 12,000 square foot
Sure.
open gym. But now I realize it's actually better to have separate communities, separate spaces,
Hmm.
spaces. They all have a different vibe and personality and style, something that works for everybody.
Oh
And
yeah.
do is pop next door, if you want to go use that facility or
Okay, I was curious. So if I purchase the 24/7 deal, it gets me into any of the spaces.
correct.
And where do you find, we obviously know the 200 people who sign up for CrossFit are going to CrossFit, but out of the various options that you have and the roughly 1,000 people that are doing that, do you know how many go to one space versus another? Like where's the popular one for that crew, the open gym crew, the 24/7?
Yeah, so here's something to consider for gym owners is 90%, at least 80%, if not 90% of new gym members or inquiries are for the Globo gym. Uh,
Okay.
because it's non-intimidating. It's what they're used to seeing. It's a bunch of machines and they're like,
Maybe like some bench and some curls, man.
yeah, exactly.
Come on.
So, and so that's where most people come and start. So that's the moneymaker. But the model, right? What's the average usage, or how many of those members are actually actively using it? Very little. So
Hmm.
you're getting a lot of revenue and you're getting a little bit of traffic, if you will, compared to the CrossFit side,
Right.
the opposite in a lot of ways. And so it's a great complement and supplement to the business, and it's a way for us CrossFit gym owners to survive. But also it exposes them to, hey, I give them all free access. Just go check out the CrossFit gym around the corner and watch a class, while you're walking on the treadmill or whatever. And so I think it allows that feeder system to evolve. But we open the door. We got a lot of seniors, a lot of older people in this community, and we're even doing insurance members. We're billing Medicare, to
Interesting.
for memberships, and so we're trying to gather revenue from all different places, but obviously still provide a superior product, on the CrossFit side of things.
What's been your lessons learned? This business model is fascinating because most gym owners haven't exposed themselves to it yet, but I feel like they've heard it here or there, and it piques their interest. Um, at a certain, is the various gyms, are they staffed at a certain hour? Then at a certain hour, the staff goes home. You show up at 1 a.m. and they're like, you're clicking on the lights and no one's there. You're just hoping people are on their best behavior. Like, what's the general? How's it actually shaking out? With people coming
Yeah,
in at whatever hour.
yeah. So I literally have no employees. I have a team of about 10 to 12 contractors, coaches, cleaning girls, and some staff that helps with administrative stuff, personal trainers, things like that. But I just kind of done that from the very beginning. It's worked out great for us to just do it that way. But I do have a team. I mean, I'm here talking to you now instead of coaching class because I have
Hmm.
a team that's running it. But the tech really runs the gym because we don't have front desk staff or any of that. So we have no overhead staffing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's all key cards. So we had to put the card readers and get the key fobs going at the front door, and we got cameras throughout all the gyms for security. The lights
Yep.
are on, the music's on, the TV's on 24/7. So it's safe, it's lit, and we have kind of administrative cleaning girl staff that for about 4 to 6 hours a day are on site, and they're making appointments to do tours and to issue cards and for customer service. They do it by appointment only. Uh,
Okay.
our coaches are there running the class, so they're on site every morning, from 5 to noon, and then in the afternoon, evening, we have staff that's in there cleaning and helping members out, but no like minimum wage behind the desk, staff that's have to be there all the time. So that's how we run it, and it's a really low overhead, not a huge HR setup. You just got to make the investment in the technology, which is, maybe 10, 15 grand per gym to just set it up with the tech so that it's secure, it's convenient, and you don't need a staff to run it.
Okay. Very cool. And what are people in your area expecting at that price point for these facilities? I guess, you're doing some things. different and quite successfully compared to a lot of other traditional CrossFit gyms. Are there showers, locker rooms, things like that, or is it more bare bones and Spartan?
No, well, each of the three gyms has all your standard training, equipment. So free weight machines, cardio, cables, bands, kettlebells, all the staples you'll find at each gym. But obviously, they have different variety of equipment. But each of them have, one or two bathrooms. Each of them have a shower that's
Okay.
available 24/7, private locker room, and each of them have an infrared sauna that's available to the members for free, and towel service. Right, so the towels are provided, so you can just show up. There are lockers that you can use for day use or rent for $10 a month at our gym. And then one gym's got a tanning bed. We got the only tanning bed in town. We got one gym that's got a cold plunge. We got another gym that's got an in-body body fat scanner. Those are all add-ons.
Okay.
But again, you scan your card to go in the room, you do your thing. There's a time limit, 15 to 30 minutes per person. So there's a sign up sheet. It's all automated. So I've tried to automate as much as possible. We do a lot of day passes and week passes because we're kind of a destination tourist spot. But I just got a QR code on the front door and on our website where people can pay $15, fill out the waiver, get a code, help themselves to the gym. I don't have to do anything besides
Interesting.
text them the code. So we've tried to automate everything to make my life easier and to make it all tech instead of human resource powered.
And have you found, I mean, I'm going to assume that there's still the general bulk flow hours of the day that are more popular than other commuting home from work or whatnot, but have you found like there's literally people in there darn near all hours?
Pretty much, yeah. There's very rarely an hour, with 1,200 members, between the three gyms where it's empty because there's enough
Huh.
graveyarders, and night owls.
Yeah.
And so like last night I was at the gym till 10 o'clock, and we just walked by, all three gyms, and there was one or two people. And there is, I love it, man, when I get the gym to myself, which is rare. But by the time I finished my workout, someone's coming in. There's rarely a full hour where there's nobody coming in or out, even in the middle of the night. So yeah, there's peak hours between the three gyms, people spread out. But there's never like dead space of like, man, I got the lights on and everything for 8 hours and not one person used it. That was that way in the beginning, but I'm like, hey man, I want to see the vision here. I want to drive traffic, and we're literally the only place in Sisters open after like 10 o'clock. Like this
Hmm.
shut down at 10 o'clock. Every place is closed except for our gym. So we're kind of a light in the community, which I think is kind of cool.
And so, like, if somebody's got the 24-hour access to the CrossFit gym, could they just go in solo at 11 p.m. and, like, climb a rope by themselves? Would probably be something that, like, a gym owner would be nervous about hearing.
100%. We're insured through CrossFit RRG, and so they're real familiar with all that stuff. And
Very cool, man.
we just have the proper signage and the worded verbiage in the waivers to where it's like, hey, you're using this gym at your own risk.
100%.
And,
100%.
and so I know a lot of people worry about that, and I know there's horror stories out there of like stupid gym fails that happen after.
Sure.
And
You can do that in your garage too, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, thank God that we've never experienced that. And we have the coverage, if it does. So if
But
you have
that's cool. They can literally do anything they want at any hour of the day. I think that's awesome.
anything, yeah. And through the app, like we provide all the programming. So like an open gym member, for $59 a month can have access to 12,000 square feet of fitness facility and have access to the app, which gives them all the programming. And so a lot of people, they just come and do the workout that's posted on the wall and in the app, and help themselves 24/7, 365 for $59 a month. It's a
Man,
great,
that's crazy.
yeah.
I know you've got a hard out here, so I'm going to wrap it up and get you going. But um, man, you've been on BTWB since 2008.
Yeah, I was just looking at, and
That's
just,
wild.
yeah, just so you know, I do have a few extra minutes, so don't feel like you
Okay.
cut me off. 9:30 is fine. But yeah, I was looking yesterday, because when I was talking to you, you're kind of an OG man, and I realized that I probably fall into that category now, finding CrossFit in '08, and going to the '08 games at the ranch and all that. Um, but my first post on BTWB was in 2008, and it was a 547 Annie. Was my
Oh,
first
nice. That's
post.
legit.
Yeah, and that's something I'll never do again. I'm at 46 years old now, and I'm like, yeah, that was legit.
That
Uh,
was legit, man. That's a good
and,
time.
and yeah, so it was kind of funny to look back after whatever it's been, man. 17 years, crazy. Uh,
Time goes by.
so yeah, I've been with BTWB since the very beginning because in the beginning that was the only option. Pretty,
Yeah, yeah, they were
pretty
first to market there.
yeah, pretty much out there, and so and that's why I just stuck with them for my own personal use, and then I started offering it to my members just for tracking purposes and for comparing to all the data that's in there, which is great. And then we switched to Mayhem programming a few years back, and Mayhem programming just gets embedded right into the app automatically.
Hmm.
So I got all my members, going on that app, and then the big game shifter for me, as a guy who started as with one-on-ones and then went to partner training and then classes of 4, and eventually worked all the way up to 12, is I always did it with reserved spots in class. There was never like a drop-in class. Like you had to have your spot reserved, and I limited it to 12. That was my max, and it still is. And so, up until about a year ago, not even a year ago, I was still reserving people in class with a clipboard and
Okay.
a spreadsheet. And like if my members, right, I had 1,200 members and 200 of them doing classes. Everybody had a set schedule, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. or whatever it is. If anybody needed to change their schedule, cancel, they texted me, and I made a change on the spreadsheet, and then I sent a picture of that to the coach. Like that's how old school it was, but that's just how we started small in the garage, and I just always did that. Switching to the app program scheduling for the members was the best thing I ever did, and it
Good.
was way easier and smoother. I burned that clipboard, man. Had a party and a celebration when I got rid of that thing. Um, my phone, I probably get half as many texts, as I did a year ago. For all that, huge game changer. And you know what? The people like it. They don't like bugging me and doing it that way. They like me to hop on the app and pick whatever classes they want and having the wait list and all the things. That's been a huge thing for us and a total game changer for me.
Well, I mean, that happy to hear that. I mean, that all in one is ideally supposed to make gym owners' lives better.
Yeah.
Uh, Curious, for people listening, they heard your story, they heard the growth, and like, which is awesome, and I think would be a goal for many, many people. After 12 years and all the different things that you've had, I'm sure you've tried many things that didn't work out, or you optimized and you re-engineered, or whatever it was. Do you have, looking in the rearview mirror, 2 or 3 lessons learned that you wish you had known, that if you were if there's a newer gym owner looking to scale right now that seems intimidating, what would you tell them?
Man, yeah. Well, number one, I would encourage them, and I think I was kind of behind the curve and old school. So I think most gym owners are doing some type of online or app scheduling. Whether it's Wodify or BTWB or any of the others out there. Um, and so I think that's probably something most people are already doing. Do that as soon as possible if you're not. Like get your hands out of the day-to-day scheduling process as much as possible. But I think the big thing that I could add or say is create passive income streams as fast as possible. Don't wait until you're 5 years, 10 years into it to start thinking long term. Because when I started this 12 years ago, I thought I was like, no employees, no landlords. I'm just going to do this in my garage, and it's just going to be a one man show because I love it for the rest of my life. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but I can just tell you now, being 46 and almost 20 years into the game, you're not going to want to do it forever, man. You're going to hit a point to where you're going to want to do other things and not be locked to the gym every day. And even if it's just to help supplement the income you have, and you're not just trading time for money. And
Mhm.
you make good money in CrossFit, gyms doing it, doing the coaching, doing the gym thing. But there's so much more potential in passive income streams. And so if you can get switched to an open gym setup, just start doing it small, but man, make a commitment to that, to have the potential to grow to 1,000 member base, even if it's 500, even if it's 200, even if it's just 100 extra members that are coming into your gym that you aren't having to coach every day, that are zero maintenance. That is the thing that I would recommend to make this thing something sustainable that you could pass on to your kids. That's actually a sellable business.
Mm-hmm.
I've bought and sold numerous CrossFit gyms, and I can tell you, if it's all on the guy, the one person, there's almost no value in it because you're just buying a job if you're buying that gym. But man, if you have a passive income stream of members there, that has huge value. And so you have resale value now, you have sustainability. The thing can last beyond you.
You
So
have options.
yeah, yeah. So, there's lots of ways to do that, but obviously the open gym 20 and people just love the 24-hour thing, man. And just like make the jump, you kind of just need to take the plunge, jump in with both feet and make that commitment. And I guess I'm just a testimony that making that leap of faith, it took a while, right? It's not instant gratification; it's long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I've said this about a few things, but that for sure, was the best move I ever made as a gym owner. Was adding the open gym 24-hour aspect to my CrossFit gym.
Final question about that, and then I would love for you just to tell people, like, promote. How can they find you? Maybe they're traveling in the area, Instagram, websites, all that good stuff. I understand the 24 access, to maybe like the strongman thing or like the traditional gym setting where there aren't classes going on. For the CrossFit thing, is the open gym there only for when classes are not being run, or is there a section dedicated to open gym as well, even if a class is going on?
Yeah, so here's the beauty of the model, and this is another thing that I think is different and unique. And everybody that sees it, they're like, "Man, this layout, this model is so perfect." It's the open model, right? And so, you know, number one, you got to have 3,000-4,000 square feet or more to be able to do this. We have 6, which is great. But the way we have it set up is the back half of the 6,000 square feet. So we got a 3,000 square foot square is for classes only during class times.
Mm.
Outside of class times, the whole 6,000 square feet is usable so people can use that CrossFit space. But the front 3,000 is set up more like a traditional gym, but also set up to do any WOD you could ever think of.
Nice.
So, anybody can come in and get a good workout, do the workout that's on the board on their own during class.
Mm.
I think that's key. You don't want to have open gym times because usually that's non-peak times. When
Mm-hmm.
most people want to go, they want to go during the most popular peak times. And hey, to have them to be able to watch the class and be part of the community and experience and cheer on people that are over on the other end of the gym while they're doing their workout is magic. They talk, they cross over, before and after class. So they're communicating. There's community there. Even the open gymmers are part of the CrossFit community. So if you can just set up of like, for us, we have flags going down the middle. We got military flags going right down the middle, and we have platform stations set up. So we got 12 racks, with platforms. And so each person has their own station, but the edge of those platforms stations is also a row of flags. And so it's just a rule of thumb. Hey, if you're in open gym during class, just stay on this side of the flags, which is 3,000 square feet. You got the sauna, you got the shower, you got the platforms, you got the dumbbells, you got the cables, you got the cardio machines, you got everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
And having that to where it's like, hey, you're here, you're here. I thought about putting up a wall and a door to go into it. I'm so glad we never did that. And we just kept it open.
I
And
like that.
had a problem. Every once in a while, I'll have a newbie that like comes over to the CrossFit side to like do their own workout during class. And we're like,
Right.
hey, just so you know, during class. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. And it's never been a problem or issue. And then you never have to manage people's open gym time. It's like, hey, come when you want.
Right.
They just know that afternoons and weekends, it's all wide open and the gym's pretty empty if you want it all to yourself. But people can do whatever they want.
Very, very cool. Well, to wrap it up, let people know how can they find you? Gym website, Instagram, social media. Like give some shout outs there.
Yeah. So the website's CrossFitSisters.com. And the Instagram is Level 5 Sisters. Easy to find us and all that. And if you're ever coming through, Sisters, right? It's a small mountain town in Central Oregon. We'd love to have you. It's
100%, man.
it's super easy to get in. I'm super easy to get a hold of. And but the big thing is, I think for gym owners that are watching this, is that go on my website and click on like the price sheet and the schedule, and you'll have a good idea of what our setup is. And if it's any of that you want to implement into your own gym, I would love to help you. There's lots of resources there that might give you some ideas on something that you could implement in your gym today or next year or at some point down the road. And I love helping gym owners, with this kind of stuff. So just know my phone number is basically the gym number, so easy to find there. My email, coach@crossfitsisters.com. Easy to find there. I'm accessible, so if anybody wants help, questions with anything that we're doing to help you, I would love to do it.
I think you're going to get some people reaching out on that. And likewise, if you find yourself in the greater Seattle area, let me know 100%. But Ryan, much appreciated, my friend. I love what you set up there. It's fascinating. It obviously works. And thank you for sharing it with everybody.
You're welcome, Pat. I appreciate your time. Always fun to talk with you, and hopefully we'll be able to get to do it again some other time.
Yes, sir.
All right.